Hi, welcome to Moonbeam's Messages. This is a Father's Day special, and this reading is for resident parents or resident fathers. In the UK, it is Father's Day on the 16th of June. So yeah, I thought it would be nice to give all those dads out there a little reading, that's specially just for them. So this is a collective reading. It obviously won't resonate with everybody. So please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Now what we're going to do is we're going to give a bit of a general overview for all of you fathers that are currently in residence, and then we're going to give you a little bit of a something about your kids. So yeah, let's get into it. So, Spirit, can we get a general message for fathers that are in residence with their children this Father's Day, please? Can we get a message for all those fathers out there, all those dads that are in residence with their children, that live with them? When I say in residence, just generally living with your kids. So if you're a single parent and you're living with them, it's somebody that is literally living with their kids all the time. So single parent, or in a partnership, whatever works. It's literally for yourself at the moment. Okay. We will pull some clarifiers on these as well. So we're going to do your past, your distant past, your recent past, current, and then we've got a future and a near future, what we're going to pull as well. So we're going to get 2 more cards, please, Spirit. That's a few more than 2, Spirit. Oh. Keeps wanting to chuck you out a ton of them. Just want 1 more, please, Spirit. There we go. Okay. So we'll get clarifiers on these as well. Okay, so in your distant past, so we've got a 2 of Wands, and that is in the upright. Sorry if the shine of the lamp reflects on that. Now that 2 of Wands is saying that in the past you were potentially quite bold. You were probably in some sort of union as well. Maybe you were in a partnership of some form, and you were quite bold and you were quite assertive in that as well. Then in your most recent past, we've got this 4 of Wands, and it's in the reverse, which is suggesting that you've had a bit of disruption potentially. You might be feeling a little bit trapped. It could also mean that some sort of partnership that you've been in might be a little bit troubled potentially. You're not really enjoying it. Things might be feeling a little bit unstable in the recent. In your current energy, we've got the 3 of Swords in the reverse. Now that is suggesting that you've had some sort of heartbreak, possibly from whatever this 4 of Wands is that's in the reverse. But it is in the reverse, so it is also showing that you're healing from that heartbreak. Okay. In your current future, or in your near future, I should say, you've got this 7 of Wands, and that is in the upright. So that is suggesting that you might be a little bit defensive over things. You might be anticipating some trouble, so maybe things haven't quite calmed down just yet. It could even be that that you need to build up your self-confidence again, and you're starting to come out of whatever it may have been. Yeah, it could be very much that you're starting to take control back of things, and you're just feeling a little bit defensive and wanting to build up your self-confidence, and anticipating anything that might be coming towards you. And then in your distant future, we have got this Knight of Wands. Now that could be a person. Doesn't necessarily have to be. If it is, air, fire energy. So that is Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Now that Knight of Wands is somebody that Gender is non-specific as well in tarot, so just to put that out there, it is just a personality trait. So this could be you, or it could be a person that's coming into your future. It is somebody that they fight for what they're passionate about. They're very, very energetic, quick to action, but they can be a little bit wishy-washy in and out as well. Okay, so let's get some clarification on these for you. So let's start off with Spirit. Can we clarify this Two of Wands in that distant past? That was an appalling shuffle. Spirit, please clarify this Two of Wands for that distant past. Okay, so you've got the Queen of Cups in the reverse. Now the Queen of Cups is somebody who is usually quite passionate, wears the heart on the sleeve. Unfortunately, when it's in the reverse, it's suggesting that somebody's a bit cut off from their emotions, and may have been a little bit emotionally manipulative. So it could potentially be that you were in a partnership potentially with this Queen of Cups. We also have a Two of Cups in the reverse, which is again suggesting trouble partnerships. So this might be a reading for some single daddies out there that have, if not, you might be in a relationship that is a little bit on rocky waters at the moment. But yeah, that's suggesting that you've got some sort of trouble partnership potentially. Now, I say single dads or trouble partnerships. This could also be work related. It doesn't have to be love related, okay? But it does suggest that some sort of partnership that you've been in, whether work related or you know, how do I put it? Intimate relationship has been a bit troubled. Where you've been, you know, being patient. It was working out to start with. It kind of went a little bit awry. And we've also got this Five of Cups that's in the reverse, which is suggesting that, not in the reverse, in the upright. So somebody is feeling like they're a little bit left out. They're a bit sad, a bit sorrowful, but they are aware that not everything has come to an end. So if you have a look on this, you've got the Two Cups behind, and then the three are all in front. So the Two of Cups behind is suggesting that they are aware that there is still something there. Okay. Now this Cup's energy is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, so that could be somebody that you're in a partnership with, like I say, potentially. This also could be your energy. It could be something where you may have been very cut off from your emotions. Might be that you were in some sort of successful partnership, but you were very cut off and you were feeling a bit, how do I put it, a bit disengaged, a little bit like you're just ready to kind of shut yourself off from it potentially. You just kind of emotionally shut down, and then you may have been feeling left out. Well, not necessarily left out, but just sad, sorrow. It's maybe that you've lost something, but you're aware that not everything is lost. Okay, but this Two of Wands, like I say, in on there as well, he is somebody that is bold, but he's also a planner as well. So it could be very much that you may be making a bit of a plan to do with something to do with this union, and it could very well be that because it's also somebody that's yearning for something. So maybe you've had something that's come to an end potentially in the distant past, and you're aware it might not be fully over, or not everything has come to an end, or not everything is lost. I mean, this could be an end of this particular chapter, but you've still got, you've still got yourself. You might have a lot of security, and you were ready to move forward. Or it even could be that if you've still got the option of turning around and going back if you want to. And let's take a look at this Four of Wands. Spirit, please clarify this Four of Wands that is in the reverse. Like I say, this is your most recent past. So this is something where, a bit of a disruption, feeling trapped. Could possibly be that if something has ended, you might be feeling stuck. Maybe you're feeling a bit trapped in a situation. Maybe you're separated from somebody. And when the Four of Wands is in the upright, it's usually a happy union card, usually something where it's like the marriage card as such. It's like a happy, stable relationship. But when it's in the reverse, it suggests that potentially that happy, stable relationship may have come to an end, or or maybe, like I say, maybe you're in some sort of separation. Maybe that's what you've been, you might have been planning something, but you're still sitting in separation at the moment. Can we get 2 more cards, please, Spirit? Okay, so for the Four of Wands, we've also got the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. So that Four of Pentacles is suggesting that you may have lost something, potentially. You may have a lack of savings. You might not have much money at the moment. Yeah, you've got 2 4s there as well. So check your if you believe in your angel numbers, recurring numbers, you might want to check those out. There might be a message for you there from your angels and spirit guides to give you a bit of advice, or to let you know that you're on the right path. But yeah, this Four of coins, when he's in the reverse, it's somebody that they're not particularly financially stable, or they like to spend money quite a lot. They're not really got any savings. When it's in the upright, it's somebody that is holding on. So this could also suggest that whatever this was, you're trying to let go of it. So if it is a relationship that you separated from, you could be just trying to let it go. You've got the Eight of Swords as well in the upright. Now that Eight of Swords is suggesting that you are feeling very stuck. And then we've also got a Hanged Man in reverse, which is suggesting that you look at this from a different perspective. Okay, so that Eight of Swords is suggesting that you are feeling stuck. Now, when you have a look at that Eight of Swords, if you have a look, the swords are just behind her. She's only bound around the waist. There's nothing on her feet. She could just walk away. So the stuckness is just a mental stuckness. It is literally just, it's all in the head. It's like she's got a blindfold on. She doesn't want to see the path in front of her. She doesn't want to try and move. She's just completely stuck. But that is completely from her own free will, because she could easily just walk forward. Okay. And then, like I say, we've got this Hanged Man. And this Hanged Man in the reverse is suggesting that potentially a new perspective may need to be looked into, or that you might need to view things from a different perspective. It could be that you are struggling with surrendering a particular behaviour or a particular viewpoint, potentially. You might be unable to switch off. Now, what this could also be is this Four of Pentacles. It could also be that you might be trying to release certain personality traits of your own that may have caused you issues, or you might be trying to release some type of behavior patterns, potentially, but it is suggesting, again, you could be a bit stuck from that, and you might need to look at it from a different viewpoint. So it might be something where you're very stuck in one view. You might be very looking at it as if to, how do I put it? If you're somebody that plays the victim, instead of owning what you contributed to the downfall, or looking at it from a different perspective, it could be something where, how do I put it? If you've got a partner, or you've got a partner or had a partner, and they keep going on and on and on at you, or it feels like they're going on at you, it could very well be that it's because they don't feel like they're heard, or they don't feel like they're being listened to. It could it could be that you might be blaming things on them because you're blaming it on yourself. So a lot of the time you might, some people do things that are wrong, and instead of accepting what they've done and forgiving themselves, it's like they will push that blame onto somebody else and blame that feeling of guilt or that feeling of loss onto someone else and make it their kind of fault instead of dealing with the internal issue. Because usually, how do I put it, if it's something where you've got a bit of, like childhood wounds or wounds from the past, and you're holding on to it really tight, you could be blaming the other person for things that you're thinking yourself. So how do I put it? If you've, I don't know, say you know that you've made a mess in a relationship, maybe you've done something where you've, I don't know, maybe you've gambled some money away, and your partner's then turned around and asked, if you've come home one night a bit late, or, is everything okay? Where have you been, sort of thing, because you've not bothered to, not that you've not bothered, but you've forgot to tell them that you were late, stuck at work, sort of thing. So you might be, so where it could be them genuinely concerned because you're turning up late, you might be automatically assuming they're thinking I'm gambling. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it's kind of like it's learning to look at it from a different viewpoint, potentially, not so much jumping to conclusions that somebody's thinking a certain thing and blaming them potentially for that. It could also very well be that, you might be having somebody tell you certain things, and it's like you're trying to let go of it and just say, do you know what, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, you're stuck because you haven't actually learnt from it, and you're not, how do we put it? If you don't learn the lessons from things that have happened, they just keep repeating. And sometimes you get stuck in a position until you've learnt that lesson. So as much as you want to release the past as such, you're just going to stay stuck in a cycle, either with that person, or you're just going to repeat the cycle with someone else because you've got a lesson to learn. So potentially changing your perspective, and looking at things from a different angle will help you release what you need to. Okay. Now, in your current situation, I say help you release it. It looks as though you may have done, because, like I say, this is the most recent past. So yeah, it looks as though you may have released. Keep talking about things as being in the future, don't I? So yes, it looks as though you tried to release things. You've had to look at something from a different perspective. You were feeling stuck, and now you might, in your current, it looks like you're healing. So let's get clarification on that Three of Swords. Could still be that you're stuck, and you might still need to look at things from a different perspective. And you might still be healing, or you might still be slowly healing. Let's get some clarification on this Three of Swords, please, Spirit. If I don't get any jumpers, I will split the deck. Okay, one more. Okay, we'll take the 4. Okay, so we've got the Ace of Pentacles, which is suggesting that you are looking at a new abundant start. So potentially something to do with your finances. Maybe you've started some sort of new business venture, maybe a new job. We've got the Knight of Wands, who, again, this could be this person, that energy, or it could be that you've just picked up, you might be embodying that energy of the Knight of Wands. So again, fighting for what you're passionate about, potentially somebody that's energetic. Could be that you're doing a bit of traveling, but again, it's a bit of a wishy-washy in and out energy. The Knight of Wands is a bit of the player of the deck, so maybe you're embodying that. You might be enjoying yourself. If it's a relationship that's ended, you might be trying to find your feet again. Potentially you might be trying to work out what it is that you are passionate about. But yeah, it could be something where you're not looking for any sort of committed relationship at the moment, but you just want something new. Now we've also got a world card, which is suggesting that you are currently experiencing the end of a cycle. You're aware that it is coming to a close. You're feeling success, accomplishment, harmony. And we've also got this Four of Swords, which is suggesting that some more inner healing is needed. Okay. So potentially that Hangman for things needing to be looked at in a different perspective may not have been completely done yet. But this is suggesting that currently you might be in need of some rest, and you've got a bit of an unsettled mind, and you're not currently able to trust your thoughts. So it could be something where you might still have lingering thoughts and feelings over things in the past, or you don't know what you want potentially. So again, like I say, looking at, if it's something where you haven't started looking at things from a different perspective, try switching your viewpoint. Okay, it could be something as simple as trying to view it from the other person's perspective, or looking at it from the eyes of a child, or looking at it as an outsider. Okay, because sometimes we see things in our own tunnel vision ways that aren't quite what everyone else would see. So where we might think something is absolutely fine, to everyone else it might not be. So yeah, it potentially looking at that, maybe doing some meditation. But yeah, so you need to. It looks as though you need to do some healing. And yeah, some kind of, it's like rest and recuperation. Something to. It's like you need to sort out your thoughts. You need to work out what it is that you want. Okay, so let's get some clarification on this near future then, this Seven of Wands. So what is coming up in the near future for you? So you're filled with self-confidence. Okay, so 3 straight away. So we've got the Ace of Wands, the Lover's card, and the Nine of Cups. Okay, so the Ace of Wands, again, it's a nice, passionate new start. This is potentially a new relationship. You've got the Lover's card, which is suggesting that it's, that you've made a choice that you're going to have a happy union. Now, when I say it's a new relationship, it may not be. It could be a restart, because the aces are just the start of a new cycle. So this World card is the completion of a cycle, and then you've got those aces that are restarting things. So it could very well be that you've gone through a bit of a phase where you've realize you haven't got much money. It could very well be that maybe you wanted another child, or maybe you want to move house, or and all of this could have been a bit of bumpy ground that you've been going through in a relationship. Now you've got a new job and you're actually able to move forward, so you just need to sit there and work out, where do you want to move to. You can't quite trust your mind on where is it you want to move to, things like that. And this could be very much of you then starting that new chapter, because sometimes a cycle, when it ends, isn't just an end of a partnership. Potentially it is, how do we put it, you meet somebody, you get together with them, okay, that's the start of a cycle. You then decide to move in with them. That living alone has come to an end, so that chapter's then ended. So moving in together is the start of a new cycle. You then decide to have a family, so that chapter of you being adults without children is the deciding to have children and progressing with that. That's an end of a cycle, and then you've got a start of a new cycle with having children. So it could very well be that you might be, like I say, it could be rekindling a relationship. It could be that you're just moving forward into something more passionate, and you've decided that this is the person for you. Maybe there's been some issues in the past where you were faced with some choices. We have got the Nine of Cups in the reverse as well, which is suggesting that there is a little bit of denial going on as well. So potentially you might not feel like this is right for you. If you might feel like it's not quite what you wanted. It could also be that, how do I put it? It could be that because you've had to make a choice, because the Lovers card is it is making a choice. On some of the decks, there's sometimes a third person, so it's usually making a choice out of potentially two people. So it could be that the other person might be feeling a little bit left out, or you could be sitting there thinking, have I chose the right person? But yeah, so normally when this card's in the upright, it is the wish fulfillment card. It is, success, things going really well. When it's in the reverse, it's suggesting that you might be questioning things. You might be thinking that it's not happy, it's not going to go where you want it to. And then we have this Knight of Wands as your future. So potentially it could be that you might not want to get out of player energy, maybe. Okay, so in the future then, in your distant future, for that Knight of Wands, so having that wishy-washy energy, you want to move to calmer waters. You want to move, you want to have things that are harmonious. You want to not be in any kind of conflict. You want to recover, you want to evolve out of things. You've got a Six of Pentacles as well, which is suggesting that things have been a little bit out of balance, and that you need to rebalance them. You've got a lot of sixes here as well. 666 there. So yeah, reoccurring numbers like no tomorrow going on here. And you do have a Two of Swords, which is suggesting that you need to make a choice, but you don't want to make a choice. If you have a look, she's got a blindfold on her, so it's somebody that's at a crossroads. They know that a choice is needed, but they do not want to make a choice. So it could very well be that you might be looking at restarting something, but something's a little bit out of balance. Potentially you're in this player energy still, if you are in a player energy, but that you need to readdress something and bring something back into balance, but you don't really want to make a choice as such. So you might have a choice of, do you commit to somebody or do you not commit? And it's like you may want to just continue to be as free as you can for a while, but you're aware that in order to have that peace and harmony, you do need to make something balanced. But yeah, it's just a case of you don't really want to make a choice on it at this point in time. So that is what I've got for you for a general reading. Let's have a look at what's going on with your kids. So let's move this deck over here. So we're going to start with this deck. So Spirit, how can the resident fathers out there, how can they help their children at the moment? What's going on with their kids that they can help support their children with? Spirit, please can you give us some cards on how the resident dads out there can support their children and what their children may be going through? a lot of cards there, Spirit. Two more, please. Okay, so how you can support your children. Okay, so we've got the eight of cups. So this is suggesting that at the moment, what you can do to help support your children is you could potentially take them on a bit of a journey. You could do a bit of traveling with them potentially. You might have something going on, or they might have had something going on from in the past, or you might have had something in the past that might be affecting your current relationship. Maybe they've done something that's made you a bit angry, and it's suggesting, you know, to potentially move forward from that, releasing that bit of the past, and moving forward from it. So maybe you've, I don't know, caught them out in a bit of a lie, or maybe you've caught them smoking, or, you know, maybe you've caught them doing other things, and you kind of just got to move past it, especially if, you know, if they're like young adult kind of age. But yeah, so this is suggesting, you know, the Eight of Cups is usually a card of somebody going on a bit of a yeah, on a bit of a journey, going on doing some travel. They're having a bit of freedom. So potentially you need to let your kids have a bit of freedom as well. Yeah, and letting them, how do we put it, start their own kind of journeys, sort of thing. Because it can also be somebody at the beginning of a journey, somebody that's starting their own journey. So this is suggesting that, you know, maybe you should, you know, let your kids have a little bit of freedom, maybe a bit of responsibility. And if it's something where they've done something that has caused you to, I don't know, maybe they've done something to lose some trust from you, this is suggesting that it's time to you know, let go of that and let them re-earn that trust, or let them try and again. Okay. Now what you can what they need from you the most at the moment, we've got this Four of Pentacles in reverse. So that is suggesting that what they need from you is you to release them a little bit. Okay. Yeah, potentially to not hold on to them so tight. For you to let them go a little bit. You know, appreciate them, because at the end of the day, it's something that money can't buy, you know. So appreciate them, but you need to let them have that little bit of freedom. You need to really let go of the grip a little bit on them. Okay. And then what can you do, or what can you do to help your child be their best selves at the moment? Okay, we've got the Seven of Wands. So potentially, I mean, that's got lots of children on there as well. It's not the normal Seven of Wands where you've got lots of wands all standing around in that card. So that is potentially just suggesting that you be there for them, you know, you stand up for them when they need you to stand up for them. Then stand your ground, have some confidence, you know, and anticipate things might crop up, but let them have their bit of freedom while you do it. Potentially teach them to stand up for themselves. Teach them some lessons in some self-confidence as well, potentially. You know, with this travel, when we're saying about this one, suggesting a bit of travel on how you can support your children, maybe as well, you could do some improvisation with them. Maybe it's something where things are a bit boring at home. Why don't you do something spontaneous with them as well, kind of thing, to you know, I mean, excite their creativity, or, you know, take them out of some sort of comfort zone that they might be stuck in. How can you deepen your connection? We've got this Four of Swords. Okay. Now that is suggesting that you've got some healing to do with them, potentially. It's not intense healing as such, but it is doing some reflection. Potentially waiting for them to do something. So where I'm suggesting over here, releasing them, letting them potentially take some responsibility. This is just, let's say it's suggesting that you should trust them to do that. Reflect on what may have happened in the past, and release it. Let them try again, try and show that they can be a bit more responsible. But yeah, and just wait and watch, kind of thing. Just withdraw yourself a little bit and give them a bit of freedom, instead of clamping down on them. Okay. And then, how can you show up fully in your role as a parent? We also have this Seven of Swords in the reverse. So that is suggesting that you lay cards out on the table with them, tell them what's expected, what isn't expected. Let them know what the consequences are of their actions. Have complete and utter honesty with them. Don't do things underhanded. Don't try and catch them out. Just, completely lay it all out. This is what's going to happen if you break the rules, blah, blah, blah. I'll let you know you can go out with your friends. You've got to be back by a certain time. If you don't, you've lost the right to go out, kind of, whatever it is that you need to do. But yeah, this is, like I say, laying your cards on the table, potentially striking a bit of a deal with them as well. I know my son, it's one of those, if I want to get him to eat vegetables as much as I can, and we literally have a bit of a deal. If he eats a bit of every new different vegetable on there, he can have some dessert. It's probably the only way I can get around it. If you've got any good suggestions, please let me know. Trying to get my son to eat vegetables is like the bane of my life. But yeah, so this is just suggesting, that you should, strike a bit of a deal with them if you need to, but lay the cards on the table and let them know what it is that's going to be expected, especially if you're going to release a little bit of grasp that you've got on them. Because let's face it, sometimes we need to, don't we? Especially when they're getting older. My son's 10 now, and I'm not going to lie, I don't like him going out and playing with his friends, because the world is dangerous, but I have to, because otherwise he's never going to learn the responsibility of stuff. Or he'll never have friends, He's a single child, so poor little kid. Right, we can get you an angel, not an angel, we can get you a Spirit of the Animal Oracle card as well. See if there's any more messages that we can give you from Spirit. I've just realised that these are all over the place and they're not in any particular. They're upright, in reverse. We'll read it in the upright anyway. It's supposed to be an upright deck. Right. So you've actually got 3. So we're going to read all 3 of them for you. You've got the Hummingbird, Miracles. You are the joy bringer. You bless the world with positivity and love. Energy soars on your shining wings. Spread the miracle of happiness. You've also got Penguin, Authentic. Reach out to your tribe in times of need. Family gives you strength when you face the storm. Love your uniqueness. You are full of surprises. Break free from others' expectations. Just be yourself. Potentially that's something that you need to help your child with. And then White Stag Protector. You are an old soul. Your best friend is nature. Use your intuition to take you where you want to go. Awaken the powerful force within you. You are meant to create blessings within you with your magic. And by all means, embody the spirit of a protector where your children are involved. Okay. So yeah, that is what we have got for you, wonderful resident fathers. I wish you a very happy Father's Day and thank you for joining me.